Hello everyone, we're going to be talking about loans today. For our first key term that we have a promissory note. So this is the agreement which states the condition of your loan. So this is between the borrower's signature, so the borrower and the person who's actually providing the loan. So a borrower's signature confirms a promise to pay back the loan as outlined in the agreement. So whatever you are agreeing to, it's just basically the signed form. Your APR, again, is the interest rate paid per year or charged per year. Life insurance, this is insurance that pays out of a sum of money, either on death of the insured person or after a set period. The principal, again, is the balance or amount of money in the account or amount that's actually being borrowed. Your wage assignment is a voluntary deduction from an employer's paycheck used to pay off debts. A balloon payment, this is the last monthly payment on some loans that is much greater than the previous payments. So that means, like the last example in our last notes, we were able to realize that if you're paying the monthly payments of, say, $20 a month, and all of a sudden the 6th month you owe $2,000, that's called a balloon payment. A cosigner, this is a person that signs a promissory note along with the borrower and agrees to pay back the loan if the borrower does not. So you guys will have probably most likely a cosigner when you guys leave high school, get into an apartment. Most likely your parents or your legal guardians will be a cosigner either on a car or renting a place because they want to make sure they're going to get their money. So if you do not pay, then the cosigner is legally supposed to be paying it. Your wage garnishment, so any involuntary form of wage assignment, so often done by the court order. Your prepayment penalty is an amount that borrowers pay as a fee if they wish to pay back an entire loan before the actual due date. Prepayment privilege, this is an agreement that allows the borrower to make payments before the due date to reduce the amount of interest. Lending instructions is just the organizations that extend loans. They make their profit by charging interest. Lending institutions include banks, savings and loans, credit unions, consumer finance companies, life insurance companies, and pawn shops. Collateral, this is security such as a personal belonging. So these are your cars, a boat, title, your CD, which is your certificate deposit or stock certificates, that insurance, a loan will be repaid. Okay, so this is our table of our monthly payments per $1,000 of principal. So we're going to be using this table for our next example. So for our example, it says, what is the monthly payment for a $4,000 two-year loan with an APR of 8.5%? So the table lists monthly costs per $1,000 borrowed. Our first step, we're going to divide the amount that you want to borrow by 1,000. So we're going to take that $4,000 divided by 1,000. Then you're going to look across the row labeled 8.50% and down the column for two-year loan. So let's actually look at that real fast. So we see that we're at a two-year loan and we went down to the 8.5% in blue. So the yellow is the two-year loan, the blue is the 8.5% of our interest rate, and we see that we're doing $45.46. So the monthly cost per $1,000 borrowed is $45.46. You are borrowing 4 sets of $1,000 though, so the table amount must be multiplied by 4 because you're borrowing $4,000, not just 1,000. So we are getting $181.84, and this will be your monthly payment when you borrow a $4,000 two-year loan at an interest rate of 8.5%. What is the total amount of a monthly payment for a $4,000 two-year loan with an APR of 8.5%? So the total amount of that, there are 12 months in a year, so we need to multiply by 24 monthly payments, or that's going to be 24 monthly payments in 2 years. So for the monthly payment from example 1, we had $181.84. That was our per month. So we're multiplying that by 24, which we get $4,364.16. So that will be the total monthly payments that we have made out of those 2 years. Now we want to know how much, if we wanted to know how much interest that gained on us, we would subtract that $4,000, and they had gained $364.16 of interest on our loan. For the third example, the total of a monthly payment for a 5-year loan now, and then $7,171.20. The APR is going to go lower to 7.25%. and how much was, we want to know how much was actually originally borrowed in this case. So if we have so this is the total monthly payments of the $7,171.20. It's a 5-year loan. So if you do 12 times 5, you get your 60, which we get $119.52. So we are now plugging this into our formula to solve for x because we want to see how much money was originally borrowed. So our 6, we're going to multiply. So we had 6 groups of $6,000. So we're going to multiply that 6 times 1,000, getting us 6,000. So the original amount that was borrowed was $6,000. To find the finance charge for a $4,000 2-year loan with an 8.5% APR, we're using that total amount of monthly payments from example 2, and we're going to subtract the borrowed amount, which was the $4,000, which equals $364.16. So then the finance charge again for the loan is $364.16. So I actually had stated that back in that example, but it just came up as example 4. Okay, so instead of having to use this chart, we do have a monthly payment formula. So this is your formula where M stands for monthly payment, P stands for the principal, R is still the interest rate, and T is still the number of years. So Mark bought a new car. The total amount he needs to borrow is $28,716, and he plans on taking out a 4-year loan at an APR of 5.12%. What is going to be his monthly payments? So we need to identify each value of the variables. So the monthly payments we do not know. Remember, M stands for monthly payment. The P, the amount he actually needs to borrow originally, is the $28,716. His interest rate as a decimal is 0.0512, and he is taking out the loan for 4 years. So we're going to substitute these values into our equation here. So you see that we have, I just plugged in each of those values. You can put this into Desmos directly like this, or you need to now simplify your exponents to make the calculator entry easier, so you can totally do that as well. So multiplying that 12 and 4, making it 48. And then if we put that in our Desmos calculator, and we're going to round to the nearest cent because we are talking about money. This might help you guys put it in Desmos like this, doubling up those parentheses on the numerator as well as the denominator, because it might get a very weird number. If you are not getting this in Desmos, you need to be using these parentheses. So your monthly payment should be $662.87. Again, mess with your calculator right now, see if you guys get these values, and see if it actually works for you. Okay, I will talk to you guys in class. I'll see you then. Thanks.